So we're getting pretty close here to the All-Star selections. The starters will be picked on January 23rd, and the reserves are going to be announced on the 30th. So it's really coming up here, and obviously with the incredible season that the Cavs have had, there's been a lot of conversations about what guys are going to actually make it onto this year's All-Star team. I feel like people have made pretty clear cases for both Donovan and Evan on why they should be All-Stars, but I haven't heard enough conversation, I think, on why Darius Garland should be an All-Star this year. I'm wearing my NBA Paint Darius All-Starland hoodie for the occasion, just to give the man some respect for what he has been doing this season. And I kind of want to get a little more into the numbers and just why I think he deserves this honor. So to start off, I think everyone knows that he has been one of the most efficient shooters in the league this year. He currently, as I'm recording this, is shooting 49.8% from the field and 42.4% from three. Prior to this year, his best was 46% from the field and 41% from three in the season that he was previously named an All-Star. And that's a significant jump from there, like a couple percentage points in each category. So I think that matters a lot. The other thing with those stats specifically, being that he is right around 50% from the field and above 40% from three, is this special honor that is called 50-40-90. So if you have not looked into these statistics, there is a very, very small number of players who in their career have shot 50% from the field, 40% from three, and 90% for free throws. To just name, I'll go down the list of names who are on the list of guys who have done this for just even one season in their career, and you're gonna be like, wow, that's a significant list. So we've got Larry Bird, Mark Price, Reggie Miller, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Malcolm Brogdon, and Kyrie Irving. Darius Garland is on track right now, if all things continue the way they're going, to get that honor. And it would be insane to me if he did not make the All-Star team, knowing that he is having this incredibly efficient season that almost never happens and only happens for some of the best players in the history of the game. And it's not that just that he is efficient, he's still scoring at, a high level too. He's the only NBA player right now averaging at least 20 points while shooting 49% from the field and 40% from three, and also 90% from the free throw line. The only player having those metrics while also scoring the amount that he is scoring. So I think that's notable too. Other things he's already accomplished this season and in his career, he now joins a list of just 4 Cavs players all time who have 3 or more Player of the Week awards. That list is LeBron, Kyrie, and Donovan Mitchell. So pretty stacked list of guys there. Obviously, that's career, not just this season, but still, I think it matters with what he has been doing this year. He just had a statement game recently against the Raptors, 40 points, 9 assists. I feel like Donovan Mitchell has been known in his career in Cleveland for those 40-point games that he puts up. Darius Garland can do it too, and he just did it in a game where the team was exhausted. They were coming off of a really hard-fought game against Oklahoma City, and the next night had to come out and play another game against the Raptors to try to keep their streak alive, and Darius Garland completely took over and was able to really will the team to victory on a night where I think the first few quarters they looked pretty tired, and was able to elevate them in a really special way. The other factor, the clutch factor. Darius, for some reason, has gotten this reputation in this league for not being a clutch player. I think people decided, there were some big games over time where Darius didn't really show up. He didn't have his best night in some of the bigger games in the history of his career. But I think those people probably aren't watching what he's been doing this season, because statistically, he is one of the most clutch players in the league this year, not just in what he's doing for the Cavs, but across the league. He is shooting 65.5% from the field, 50% from three, and 100% free throws. Ranks first in plus minus with plus 62 in clutch time this season. So clutch time is the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime when the score is within 5 points. So he is shooting at an unbelievable rate during those periods of games when his team needs it the most. How is that not meaningful, and how is that not impacting his ability to be named an All-Star this season? Like I said, I think people are hanged up on preconceived notions of him, but an All-Star nomination is not a career achievement. It is based on what you are doing within that specific season. And I think if you are looking at what Darius Garland is doing in this specific season, he should absolutely be an All-Star. I think there's guys that get nominated just from their name and from their reputation to be an All-Star, and that's where the selection comes from. And I think it's a lot harder when you're in a small market like Cleveland. You might not have the number of votes behind you, the fan votes behind you, like you would if you were in a New York or an LA or a Boston, one of the bigger markets. I think that makes it a lot harder for guys to get the respect that they deserve. I think I'm so proud of Darius for what he has done this year. It is the first time in a while we've really gotten to see him healthy for an extended amount of time. Knock on wood, he has not gotten hit in the face, his eye poked out, that is keeping him off the floor for an extended period of time. That has not happened this season yet. So like I said, knock on wood, I really don't want it to happen again, but just grateful for the opportunity to actually get to see him work with his team, be conditioned and get in the flow of the game with his teammates. I think it's hard when you deal with those injuries to kind of just jump back in and try to be the player that you were before the injury, especially if you weren't able to continue with your conditioning. You probably lose a little bit of your shot during those times if you're not able to work on it the way you would want to. So I think all of those things have affected him in previous seasons, and I think we're getting to see the true Darius Garland right now, the Darius Garland we all know existed, the one we saw a lot of during his previous All-Star season a couple of years ago when the All-Star game was in Cleveland. I think we're seeing the best version of him again, and for all of those reasons, Darius Garland should be an All-Star. Go vote for him. There's still time left to do it. So I think he deserves it on top of, the other stars on this team. Darius has had an historic season and deserves that honor.